Imagine this: 9 experienced hikers, well prepared for their journey, set off to explore the remote Ural Mountains in Russia.
But when they failed to return, a search party was sent out.
What they found was far from a simple rescue mission. The hikers were found dead, in bizarre and unexplained circumstances, scattered across the mountain, their bodies showing signs of violent trauma, yet no clear explanation for their deaths. This is the haunting story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident, one of the most chilling and mysterious unsolved cases in modern history. It was February 1959 when 9 members of the Dyatlov group, led by Igor Dyatlov, set off on an expedition in the remote Ural Mountains. The group, all students or graduates of the Ural Polytechnic Institute, were experienced hikers and had planned their journey to reach the summit of Otorten. But something went terribly wrong. On February 26th, a search party found their abandoned tent. The tent, surprisingly, was slashed open from the inside, as if the hikers had fled in a hurry.
Their personal belongings were left behind: shoes, jackets, and even warm clothes.
The most unsettling part: the hikers were barefoot and poorly dressed for the freezing temperatures, which reached 30 C. When the bodies of the hikers were found, they were scattered across the mountainside, and their conditions were disturbing. Some of the hikers had severe internal injuries, including crushed ribs and skull fractures, while others had missing eyes and a tongue. What makes the case even more baffling is that there were no external wounds to match the severity of the injuries.
There were also signs that some of the hikers had been exposed to a high level of radiation.
But no one could explain how or why this happened. The official investigation concluded that the hikers had gone off from hypothermia, but the peculiar injuries and the strange circumstances left many with more questions than answers. So, what really happened to the Dyatlov group? Over the years, several theories have emerged to explain the bizarre deaths of the hikers. Let's look at a few. The avalanche theory, one of the most widely accepted explanations, is that the hikers were caught in an avalanche. Some believe that the group, startled by the rumble of the avalanche, cut their way out of the tent and fled into the cold night, unprepared for the harsh conditions. The trauma to the hikers' bodies, such as crushed skulls and ribs, could be explained by an avalanche. However, there is one major flaw with this theory. The avalanche did not leave any trace of debris, and there was no snow in the area that would suggest an avalanche had occurred.
The infrasound theory. Another theory suggests that infrasound, a phenomenon caused by the wind passing over the mountain peaks, could have induced panic in the hikers.
Infrasound, which is sound below the human hearing threshold, can cause feelings of anxiety, nausea, and disorientation.
This theory posits that the hikers, disoriented and in fear, might have cut their tent open in a panic and fled into the freezing wilderness.
But this theory does not explain the severe internal injuries and the missing body parts. The military or government cover-up theory, some believe that the hikers were caught in the middle of a secret Soviet military operation.
The idea is that the hikers may have stumbled upon something they shouldn't have, such as a military test or operation, and was silenced by the authorities. This theory is supported by reports of strange lights seen in the sky by locals around the time of the incident, as well as the hikers' exposure to radiation.
However, there is little concrete evidence to support this, and the Russian government has denied any involvement. The Yeti or animal attack theory, a more fantastical theory, is that the hikers were attacked by a Yeti or some other animal. Some believe that the bizarre injuries and the disfigured bodies were the result of an animal attack. However, no signs of animal tracks were found, and the idea of a Yeti, while intriguing, lacks any scientific backing.
Despite numerous investigations and extensive research, the true cause of the Dyatlov Pass incident remains a mystery.
The Russian government, after years of reopening and closing the case, recently stated that the most likely cause was an avalanche or natural forces, but many still find this explanation unsatisfactory. In 2020, Russia officially reopened the case, but the new investigation did little to shed light on the strange circumstances. The mystery surrounding Dyatlov Pass has become a focal point for conspiracy theorists, paranormal enthusiasts, and armchair detectives around the world.
There's something about the strange circumstances, the unexplained injuries, and the lack of conclusive evidence that continues to haunt people's imaginations. Was it a tragic accident, a military cover-up, or something far more sinister?
The truth may never be fully known.
But one thing is for sure: the Dyatlov Pass incident is one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in the world.